Welcome to Momentum Investing, property investing made easy. One of the world's top podcasts on property investing, bringing you the top experts in the field so you can learn firsthand what it takes to create passive income and take control over your financial future.
Welcome to the Momentum Investing Podcast. Merry Christmas. Hope you've had an amazing time with friends, family, and loved ones around you. And I hope you're looking forward to 2021. It's right around the corner. So this is our last episode of 2020, and I'm very excited about this episode because I had the honor of interviewing Timoteo Braga. Timoteo is one of our students who's had a fantastic journey. Timoteo has actually taken our course, Property Game Changer. And in that course, he learned the steps you needed to take in order to do your first deal. He learned how to start a company, how to do his due diligence, how to find deals, how to find partners, and how to make it happen. And what I felt was so exciting is that he took all this knowledge and he put it into action. Not a lot of people take action on knowledge, as you probably know, but those who do, sure, like yourself, have the difference. That is what makes the difference. So Timoteo has been doing deals. He's been doing deals in Brazil, and he just did his first deal in the United Kingdom. He's done a rent-to-rent deal that is now generating cash flow. I am so happy for him, and I wanted to bring him on this episode to learn what it is he has done to make him successful. How did he do this? What has this journey been like? So my name is Daniel Wood. I am your host for today's episode. I'm one of the founders of Momentum Property Education, and I want to introduce you to our student, Timoteo Braga. Let's get to the interview and hear how you go from nothing to deal number one. Timoteo Braga is here to share, so have fun. All right, welcome to the Momentum Investing Podcast. I'm super excited to be here with Timoteo Braga, a new property investor just starting your journey. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you to have me here.
Yeah, no, we're very honored to have you. I'm really excited that you agreed to join. The reason I wanted to invite you on the show is, you've just started your journey and you're already doing a deal. You're already seeing cash flow. So it's super exciting. So let me ask, how long ago was it you started your company?
The company in UK, we started in last March this year. It was more or less in the middle of the pandemic.
Very good.
So because I made the Game Changers course in the beginning of this year, a bit earlier. And then I started to look for the company, for bank accounts and so on. So then the company was incorporated on end of March. And then a lot of has been happening after that.
Yeah, no, it's been a real cool journey. And just everyone listening knows, you did the Property Game Changer course. It's one of the Momentum Property Education courses here earlier this year. And we're just super excited that it sparked you on your journey, that you went out, you found build yourself, your team, and you're already getting cash flow. But
yes.
let's backtrack a little bit. What is your background? Where are you kind of coming from?
Yeah, I came from Brazil. So I'm Brazilian. I always, or most of the time, I was working in the automotive industry as an engineer. Right. I had in the parallel side, I had two companies previously in Brazil, language schools in partnerships with my wife and my brother. And then after that, before I moved to Sweden, I was handling a company that I was teaching and being a consultant for sales for a lot of different kind of business in Brazil. But as we always willing to move abroad, we took the chance on that time. And in Brazil, we start to buy some apartments there to start up, because I read the Rich Dad and Poor Dad in 2000.
Right. That's what kind of started your interest.
Yes. It was in 2002, to be honest.
Right, yeah.
So it's quite a long time ago. I was unemployed on that time. And me and my wife, in that time, she was my girlfriend. We spent our afternoons in the bookstore reading books, as we were unemployed both. Right. We didn't have money to buy the books. So then we went to the bookstore every day to raise a capital or something like that.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you did it together, that this was a journey
Yes.
you've really done together. That's awesome.
Yeah. We do everything together. And then I read this book and I start to think about investments, and I read actually more than this book in the bookstore. We had a couple of months to read, unfortunately or fortunately.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Yeah.
Yes. Because it changed the mind, your mind when you start to do that. So then, since then, I was looking for investments, and real estate or properties was always in the mind. So we started to buy the apartments. We were buying one per year, up to three, and then we start to get mortgages and so on. But there in Brazil, mortgages are a quite expensive thing, so we couldn't scale up quite good, I would say. But it was a good business. The market was really growing quite fast, so we had a quite good capital appreciation there.
Very good.
And when we moved to Sweden, of course, I got an engineer job here, and I was looking for to start to do something and know the rules of the game. In 2017, I went to the first speech here in Gothenburg. I went actually for 3. And then when they start to tell about the UK and how the deals goes on there, I was really thinking that it's a thing that I would research a bit more and learn a bit more, and it kept in my mind since then. And on this year, I got the chance to start the education and to get the deal.
Yeah, we've been really excited to be a part of your journey, and just the fact that you took that action, and just from that you've been able to put it into play and put it into action. And what's actually cool is you've actually not done our mentorship program. You've done one of our online courses, purely digital, and it doesn't cost a lot to get into, and yet it's led to your first property deal. So please tell me about that deal. I'd love to hear what it is you've done.
Yes. So after we started the company, I was changing a bit between the strategies. First, I was looking for buy and flip, but on that time the market has started to go in a quite crazy thing to mortgages. I was being afraid of unemployment and things like that in UK.
Since this is obviously in the middle of the pandemic, and the market is going up and down and sideways and every which way, so that was probably a good call.
Yes. So then I took a lot of discussions with mortgage brokers, with sourcing deals, deal sourcers. But I was trying to do that. So I analyzed 3 deals, and in all of 3, after some time, we realized that was not that good deals. I was making most probably a big loss, or end up in not being able to mortgage because of the details. So we always
that's one of the things too. The due diligence is so important. I mean, sourcing agents will bring you deals. I mean, they're salespeople. But good ones obviously will bring you good deals, but a lot of them are just out there selling. And that's why in Property Game Changer we spend so much time on the due diligence. I mean, lately, and I know this is after you originally went through the course, but we increased the amount of due diligence. I think it's like 4 hours now of due diligence training in there. So I'm very glad you used that and didn't do the bad deals. But somehow you ended up with a good deal. What happened?
Then I've never thought to do a rent-to-rent, to be honest. I didn't get so excited about this, but I think it was in last October. As in this meantime, I started to run multiple deals in Brazil, and I thought that was maybe the opportunity to hold back the UK company to 2 years more or less. Because the market in Brazil was better, and the market in UK for a newcomer was quite weird, and I was a bit afraid of. But After started to run in joint venture agreements in Brazil with some partners there, I was feeling that I have to start the company UK in some way, and we believe in God, so we were always trying to ask God directions. And one day when I was going to work, I it came quite strongly to me that maybe rent to rent would be a way forward, because then you can find some not so much expensive deals, or that you don't need to put a big deposits and so on.
Let me just explain for everyone listening quickly what rent
Yes.
to rent is, just so everyone understands. Rent to rent basically means that Tim isn't buying the property. As you say, you don't have to put in that big deposit. Essentially, you're renting the property. So you're renting from a landlord, and then or an owner, and then you're going to rent it out, and make a profit in the in the difference. So what you
Yes.
often do is you'll rent as as a regular buy to let rent, and then you'll shift the strategy to something else like an HMO or a service department, allowing you to get a higher rent and make a good profit.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, yes, now
Yeah.
that everyone's with you, what you're talking about, let's go.
Yeah. So I started to. It was in October that I had this feeling, and then I started to research a lot about this and to revisit the course itself,
Yeah.
to refresh some of the knowledge there. And then I found a deal sourcer in England. He was working with the charity, so for homeless people. As in UK, we have the law that they need to support this kind of people. They have some special way of working on this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
exactly. There's a law against homelessness, so it's the
yes,
council's responsibility. If you can't afford a home, or if you're not able to get a home, it's the council's responsibility to make sure you do get one. And
yes,
it's a lot of it is run through charity organizations who help find these houses.
yes. And as I didn't have to take a mortgage and so on, I thought that was a good start for me to start to learn. Because one thing, of course, the education is really good. It's really important to have, but you need to put in practice.
Yeah.
And it's there that you start to realize if you learned, or if you need to revisit the education for more 10 times or
Yeah.
or
Well, you're
such.
lucky. You'll have lifetime access, and we keep
Yeah,
upgrading it. So, but I agree. You have to put it into action, because otherwise,
yes,
you just know all these things, but you're not actually making
yeah.
a profit.
Yeah, it's like a aircraft pilot. You can do 10 years of education, but you need to start to fly. Otherwise, you don't know.
Oh, exactly. You can read a million books on how to
Yeah,
drive a car, but if you never get
yeah,
behind the wheel, it's
yeah.
not really going to help you.
Useless. So this deal, specifically this deal. So I found the sourcer that was working with the charity. It was one of the kind of deals that he had. He took me a 6-bed licensed HMO already. Uh, and this HMO was in a need to some slight refurbs, like painting, carpets, furniture.
Right. Some tidying up, essentially.
Yeah. So it was a quite like a week work. So then running the numbers, I thought that was a really good start. It's a kind of deal that gives me a 6% interest per month, or 72% per year ROI.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine how many people in the stock market would kill for
Yes.
6% per month.
Yes. And then it was working pretty well. Of course, I had a lot of fear. I tried to make my best in due diligence. Before the course, I was quite boring in this sense, because engineers would like to see the details and make sure about every numbers, everything, and but after the course, I became even more detail, looking for details and so on. But I thought that was a good thing, and I took the risk, and I jumped in. And the people moved in the house in November, and I got the first payment in beginning of December. it was really, really fun because until you get the payment, you are always in alert mode.
Yeah.
So
Well, what's cool for you though, I think this is a point we kind of need to stress here, is you got that first payment, which is awesome, but
yes,
this is now a guaranteed contract you have.
yes,
It's guaranteed by the charity, by the council, which means
yes,
now that you saw that the first payment came through and you know it's true, it's
yes,
for
yes.
real. Now you know how long is the contract for?
It's 48 months.
Right. So for
So
4 years, you have guaranteed rent, you have
yes,
guaranteed cash flow.
yes. In a bit less than 17 months, I will have all my money back, and after that, it's 31 months of fully profit. So
Which is awesome.
it's really good, and
And the
it's
good thing is if something breaks down in the building, you don't even own it now, which means if the
yes,
roof needs to be fixed, that's actually the responsibility of the landlord.
yes, for the owner and the charity, it's in charge to make the small maintenance repairs. So I don't have voids, I don't have maintenance costs, I don't have any of this. So it's a quite straightforward, and I thought in these pandemic times that it's quite weird. As if I was an experienced investor in UK, then maybe I could manage something that could bring even bigger returns. But for me, as a first step in the property world in UK, I thought that maybe it's better to keep a bit smaller profit, but a bit less risky. And I
I
have my
love that you're already getting spoiled.
yeah.
Go back a couple years ago and someone tells you, Tim, I got 7% per month return for you. And now you're like, oh, that's just a small profit for me. I
Yeah.
love it. I love how you've grown in it. So that's
Yeah.
so cool. And now you know for the next 4 years you got cash flow coming in, 31
Yes.
months of profit. So what's the
Yes.
next deal going to be? Are you going to do another one like this? Are you going to look at
Yes.
something else?
My intention with this is, of course, get knowledge and grow, scaling
Scale
up,
up. Yeah.
scale up. Yes, scale up a bit more in this field because I was willing to bring a cash flow to the business.
Yeah.
And also it was a way to start to collect money or raise money to as a first deposit to buy the property itself. Because of course, the ending goal is to buy assets, not just to rent out. So I know that it's a kind of way forward that I found to raise deposits and don't need to put my own money in the game or not that much.
Yeah, exactly.
So
A small first couple months rent and a
yes,
week's refurb.
yes,
I love your mindset there. I know, I mean,
thank
that's
you.
something we talk about a lot, and you may have
Yeah,
spoken about it, but just the remembering that a rent to rent isn't actually cash flow. I always call it, it's a long-term flip
yes,
because you put in, whatever it is, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K, but then you get that back, you make a profit, but then at some point your rental contract runs out and you have to give the
yes,
property back, which
yes.
means it's not an ongoing asset,
No,
but
no,
it
no.
is a valuable, it's a great way, especially in a market like this when we're afraid to kind of flip, when we see the market is a little wrong for flips this
Yes,
way. And I love that you got a guaranteed contract with the
yeah,
charities. They're probably going to need more and more properties like
yes,
this because
yes,
of what's going on in the overall economy. So I think
yes.
you've really tapped into an amazing opportunity there and done a
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good job.
yeah. I'm really, really, really happy and excited about that. And I think scaling up a bit more, it will be a good opportunity to rise the capital to start to build the real assets and start to play the game in a more proper way.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask, what would you say about the Property Game Changer course? What has been the value you've gotten out of it, and what would you recommend? Would you
Uh,
recommend someone else to do it?
yes, yes, of course, because as I'm Brazilian, so I was trying to learn the rules of the game here in Sweden. And in the same time, I was trying to learn something else in UK, which is fully different. So, and I run deals in Brazil, so you need to split your mind in between to don't mix up the laws and the legislations, the rules of the game. And I think that course was really good because it goes covering all the steps that you need. So how to open a company, how to do your due diligence in the deal, in the persons, which is really, really, really important. We have a lot of scammers and this kind of people there. And the closest that I have been in UK, it was a connection in London 15 or even more years ago.
Right.
So I've never been there.
Right.
And I run a business, I run a deal there, but I've never been there. So you need to be careful and you need to have proper knowledge about the legislation, about the deals itself, sourcing, banks, how to work with the banks. And so I think it was a really, really good knowledge, that course. It gave me a really good basis. And I was really excited to get started and put in practice, because then it's where you get to use the things that you learned there. So I think it was really cool. And I strongly recommend that for everyone that is willing to jump in this field.
That's amazing, Tim. Thank you so much. And we're really looking forward to following your continuous journey now in the International Property Investors Group. Looking forward to seeing you share your property, your future properties, and following you on that journey. So thank you so much for joining us today, Tim. Congratulations on your first cash flow. And let's make sure that this is just the first of many, many properties.
Yes, hopefully it will be. And thank you for all the support. We were discussing quite a lot about the deals and about the course itself with you, Lucas, as well. So thank you. I'm really glad for the support that I'm receiving, and I'm really happy with Momentum and you guys, of course.
Thanks a lot, Tim. I really appreciate that. We're happy to help. It's an honor to work with you. So everyone, thank you so much for listening. I have some exciting news for you guys in a moment, so stay tuned. Thank you again, Tim, for joining us, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Speak to you. Bye-bye.
Wow, wasn't that inspiring? That journey that Timoteo has done is truly incredible. He's taken action and he's got cash flow. That's what we want, right? We want that cash flow, that passive income. He's using it. He's building up his asset base. He's going to be doing more deals. I am so excited to follow him on his journey and see where it takes him. Our next episode, the first episode of 2021, we are going to open with a bang. This episode is coming out on the 5th of January, so make sure you're ready, because I have asked one of my first mentors to join us on the show. Derry Llewellyn-Davies, one of the men who helped us when me and Gisela were down. We were helped by Kim Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins' organization, and Derry was a key part of taking us from hundreds of thousands in debt, deals that have gone bad and we're just bleeding money, to turning our business around, being able to become financially independent and live our life. Derry was a key part of that. He helped us restructure. He helped me with my mindset. He is known as the strategy man. And on our next episode, he is joining us on the Momentum Investing podcast. He's going to be talking about strategy in tough times. What do you do in these crazy times where the market's going up, it's going down, it's going sideways, currencies are fluctuating, the whole world is going crazy? What do you do? How do you think about this strategy? Derry is incredible at it. He's an incredible investor himself. He's actually recently founded a golf resort. I was one of the founding investors of that resort. It has been going amazing, and I'm really excited about that project. He knows his stuff. He's been financially independent. He's a consultant on boards. And of course, the golf resort is nothing to sneeze at. He is an amazing investor. He's an amazing person, and he is great at strategy. So stay tuned for our next episode on Tuesday, the 5th of January. You will see what it takes to succeed in 2021. So happy New Year's. Hope you have an amazing ending here to 2020, and I'll see you in a week in 2021.